Good afternoon. We are going to be looking at mean, median, and mode. And the range. So this is the first YouTube video I'm making for us as a class to make notes. When I say make notes, essentially I want your exercise book to look very similar to this YouTube page. So this YouTube video by the end, your book should look quite similar. These will be notes that you can revise from in the future. There'll also be notes that you might use in lessons when we're practicing some of the skills from this video. So to begin, let's talk about what the mean is. You should know that the mean is the average. What's median? What do you think median is? Well, median is, we should know it's the middle number. The mode is the most common number. And the range is the highest to the lowest. Okay? Let's talk about these in more details. So, the average. How do we find an average? Well, if you have some numbers, you add them all up, and you divide them by the number of numbers there are. I could write this as the following. I could say you take the total of the data that you've got, and you divide it by the number of data bits. So if you have, say, 4 numbers, and the number of data bits is 4, there are 4 numbers there. The total of the numbers would be the total of the data is if I add those numbers up. Okay, we're going to look at some examples over this video. The middle number, well, to find the middle number, you can arrange the numbers in order and find the middle one. The most common, well, the data can have a most common number. It should be obvious from the data. It can have multiple modes, so there could be more than one mode, or there could be no mode. So if there's no mode, then, for example, if every piece of data only appears once, then there would be no most common piece of data. The range, high versus low, the highest to the lowest, well, we could say it's actually the highest subtract the lowest. The highest number in your data, subtract the lowest number in your data. Examples. Okay, so let's take these 5 numbers, 10, 2, 6, and 6. Okay, what is the average? Well, for the average, maybe you should pause the video, try and work out the average yourself and see if you get it right. So the average, you would add up the data, so you've got 6 plus 6 plus 6, plus 10 plus 2, divided by the number of data bits. Well, how many data bits are there? There are 5. There's a 10, a 2, a 6, and a 6. There's 5 data bits. If we do 6 plus 6 plus 10 plus 2, we get 30. Divided by 5 gives us 6. So the average of these numbers is 6. The median. So if we look at the top there, it says arrange in order and find the middle. So we're going to arrange these in order. So the lowest number is 2. So we've got 2, 6, 6, 6, 10. The median is the middle number. So we could start crossing out from either end. And the middle number is 6. The mode. The mode is the most common. The most common number is obviously 6. The range. The range is the highest, take away the lowest. 10, take away 2 is 8. The range is 8. Let's look at a different example. 10, 2, 5, 7, and 3. So maybe pause the video here and try and find the average, median, mode, and range of these. Okay. So, if you did pause the video, I've just added a 9, so that will change all your calculations. I'm really sorry. So we've got 10, 2, 5, 7, 3, and 9. So let's do the average. The average, so if we do the total of these numbers, 10 plus 9 plus 2 plus 5 plus 7 plus 3, we get 36, and there are 6 numbers. 36 divided by 6 is 6. So the average is 6. The median, well, let's arrange them in order. 2, 3, 5, 7, 9, and 10. If you start crossing out from either end, there's a problem. There are 2 middle numbers, 5 and 7. So you could say the median is the number that's halfway between 5 and 7. The number that's halfway between 5 and 7 is 6 in this case. Okay? To find the number halfway between 5 and 7, you could think about taking the average of 5 and 7. To take the average of 5 and 7, you add up the data, 5 plus 7, and divide it by the number of data bits, which is 2. 5 plus 7 is 12, 12 divided by 2 is 6. So the average of 5 and 7, or the number halfway between 5 and 7, is 6. For the mode, well, there is no mode. There's no most common number. The range is the highest, subtract the lowest. The range is the same, 10 minus 2, which is 8. Okay? Sorry if you paused the video too early and didn't see that I put an extra 9 there. C'est la vie. Right, new question. We're going to find a different set of 5 numbers with a mean of 6, a median of 6, and a mode of 6, and a range of 8. So if we look at the first set of numbers, 10 to 666, 10 to 666, yeah, that's 5 numbers. The mean is 6, the median is 6, the mode is 6, and the range is 8. I want you to find a different set of 5 numbers. Okay, maybe try and pause the video and see if you can find a different set. So one way to do this is to start with a set of numbers that fit some of the criteria. Not all of the criteria, some of the criteria. So if we put 5 dashes here, a set of 5 numbers that fit some of the criteria would be 66666. Okay? This has a mean of 6, because if you add them up and divide by 6, you get 6. It has a median of 6. It has a mode of 6, but the range is 0. The range is the highest take away the lowest. 6 take away 6 is 0. So it's not quite right. Okay, so we could change certain things. What we could do is we could say, to get a range of 8, we might subtract 4 from the smallest number and add 4 to the biggest number. What's interesting is that this doesn't change the total. The total is still 30. 2 plus 6 plus 6 plus 10. And that's because we've subtracted 4 and added 4 to the set of numbers. So we haven't changed the total. The middle number is still 6 and the mode is still 6. This is the same as the first list. So we haven't found a different set yet. But this would be one way to find a set. So how could we change this now? Well, we want the mode to be 6, so we need 2 6s. But we need a different set. So why don't we think about, say, adding 1 to this? If we add 1 to this, we could say subtract 1 here. But if we subtracted 1 here to make the range the same, then the total has changed, because if you look at it, I've subtracted 1, and added 1. So overall, I've subtracted 1 from the total is no longer 30, the total is 29. So this doesn't quite work. What could I do instead? Well, I could, instead of subtracting 1, I could subtract 1 here, subtract 1 here, and then add 2 here to make up for it. So now our list could be 1, 6, 6, 8, 9, if I go back. 1, 6, 6, 8, 9. This fits all the criteria. The total is 30, the mode is 6, the median is 6, and the range is 8. 9 take away 1 is 8. Okay, so that's kind of a method. What I've done there is I've just played around with some of the numbers. Okay, we're going to look at a different skill now. The question now is, what if we have lots of data? So let's say each member of a class rolls a die. So a die being a dice. The rolls are listed below. Okay, so here are all the rolls of the 24 students in the class. These are random numbers from the class. What if we put these into a table? Okay, so we could tally these off using a simple tally system. And then to find the frequencies, you just work out what the tallies are. Okay, check that it adds up to 24. So the question is, find the mean of the die roll. So what was the average score of the class? So the big mistake in this is to say that to find the average, we do 6 plus 4 plus 3 plus 2 plus 6 plus 3 from the frequency column there. And there are 6 numbers, so we're going to take that and divide it by 6. 24 divided by 6 is 4, so the average roll is 4. That's not true, though. If you look at the original list, how many data bits are there? Remembering that the mean is the total of all the rolls divided by the number of data bits there are, the number of rolls there were. The number of rolls there are 24 rolls. So I'm not going to divide by 6. There weren't 6 rolls, there were 24 rolls. Okay? So the average is the total of the total of the data divided by the number of data bits. There are definitely 24 data bits. Okay? How can we find the total of the data? Well, we could add up from the original list. If we add up all these numbers, you get a number of 79. So the average is 79 divided by 24. So that would be one way of doing it. You could do that in your calculator, maybe write down the answer there and we'll check it in class. What if we didn't have the original data? How could we do it? Well, we could think about this number here, this 6. 6 people rolled the score 1. So in total, we have 6 people who rolled a 1. So we have a total of 6. Here, 4 people rolled a 2. So in total, the total of those people's rolls was 8. Here, 3 people rolled a 3. 3 lots of 3 gives us 9. Here, 2 people rolled a 4, so 2 lots of 4 would give us an 8. Here, 6 people rolled a 5. 6 lots of 5 is 30. And here we have 3 people who rolled a 6. 3 lots of 6 is 18. So to find the total of the data, we have to add up this now. We have to do 6 plus 8, 14. 14 plus 9, 23. 23 plus 8, 31. 31 plus 30 is 61. 61 plus 18 is 79. So the total of the data is 79. The number of data bits is how many times those data occurred, which is the frequency, which is 24, which is how we get this 79 divided by this 24. Okay, so this is how to find the mean from a frequency table. Okay, we'll stop there. Make sure that your notes look fairly similar to my page, and then we'll do some practice of this in class. Thank you very much for watching.